him, I said that he was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play it because as far as I could tell, he said he'd watched some videos and stuff, and I wanted to stop him. Well, that was your first mistake.
Whoa.
But yeah, but he said, a lot of stuff I saw said that there's not really a whole lot of story. And I said,
what?
I said, you haven't played Dark Souls, right? And he's like, no. I said, okay, here's the deal. There's as much or as little story as you want. That's what's amazing about it. They're not going to pull you out every 10 minutes with a cutscene and show you exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. I said, you can have as much or as little story as you want, and it's amazing.
There is a YouTube guy that he made a video called Elden Ring, and he's talking about Elden Ring, and he's like the story is the equivalent of finding a bunch of post-it notes all over your office and being like, damn, that book was lit. Which I agree with, but like the funny thing about like Dark Souls as itself, it's like I played it and beat it a long ass time ago, like whenever you showed it to me, and like I didn't know anything about the story until like really like Epic Name Bro kind of like showed it to me. And it's like I'm not good at like oh well, let me read the description on the Black Knight shield and it says this, and like I'm not good about that kind of stuff. I don't really care about story in games anyway. It almost always feels tacked on to me. It doesn't matter what the game is. I don't know if that's my problem, but
I mean I can see that either way. I mean I think that those games though, like the Souls game, I don't care what anybody else says because I think that's like the perfect formula. There's as much or as little story as you want. So if you just want to pick up a game and play it, and you don't care about the cutscenes, and you don't want to have to, if they don't let you skip them the first time, you're like, oh my god, I have to sit through this whole thing. Like a freaking Resident Evil game or something where you're like, oh my god, I don't care. I just want to play the game. Then
that's funny. I actually like the story of Resident Evil sometimes because it's so dumb.
Well, they've gotten insanely bad, over the years. But yeah.
8's not that bad. Neither is 7.
I haven't played that one. I actually have very little interest in Resident Evil other than when we play co-op because it's fun.
Dude, 8 slaps, man. 8's really good.
Which one
7
is 8?
Okay, the one that just came out, Village.
Yeah, Seattle. Haven't even watched any videos or anything about it.
Really? You haven't seen all the stuff about Lady Dimitrescu?
Oh, that's that.
Yeah,
okay,
fucking big titty vampire mommy.
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Seriously, what the internet calls her.
It's pretty weird, but okay, I'll accept
Dude,
it.
people are so weird.
Well, yeah.
She's so threatening too. I don't know. I find that shit really funny. Dude, it doesn't matter what it is. The internet's gonna sex it up.
I was gonna say, yeah. These days, yeah, the internet's.
What do you mean these days? It's probably always been like that.
Very true. I have a feeling that was the case, that as soon as somebody was like, hey, I made it so that we can link all of our computers together, the very next guy was like, can I send a picture of my dick over it?
Well, dude, not even the next day. I bet that shit was coming through fax machines.
As soon as... Yeah, you're probably not wrong. I feel like there should be a good scene of a guy on his computer and he's like, figures it out. Boom. Oh, I have discovered the internet, and immediately just a picture of a dick pops up on his screen.
Oh my god!
I just did this. How did you do that?
Like instantly. We are very industrious.
Yeah, the disgusting people are very industrious.
Oh, so something we talked about before we started recording, but we'll circle back to it. So recently, I watched Jungle Cruise. I don't know how new it is, but
wait,
The Rock
the first one?
stop.
Or is there only
more
one?
than one?
Well, isn't it all the exact same people who were in the new Jumanji movie? Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
No, it's just The Rock.
Okay,
but it might good point. It might as well be a fucking Jumanji movie. The Rock needs to stop making movies. Honestly, I'm throwing that out there.
I'm listening.
He's the same person in every movie. He's just like, oh, I'm amazing at everything. I'm super buff. I'm kind of funny.
Same person.
Exactly, he's the same person. It's like if you would have told me before I watched Jungle Cruise and the title card didn't come up, it was a Jumanji movie, I would have believed you.
You would have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, literally, like it's the same fucking thing. It's literally the same thing. There's a jungle, the bad shit goes on, there's a curse, blah blah blah. You've seen that movie 1,000 times, right. But they still make this shit all constantly. Like what?
Uh,
Why are they just out of ideas?
I feel like they are, and we had this
Put the
conversation.
Rock in there. It's good.
We had this conversation a couple days ago that we miss the movies where it was almost just like a one-off original idea, no sequels, didn't need
Yeah,
sequels.
they didn't make fucking Fast and Furious 12.
Oh my god, yeah.
Paul Walker's
The,
dead. Stop.
yeah, just stop. Okay. The first one, you could have stopped at the first one and people would have been like, that was a pretty cool movie. And you would have been fine. But I don't know what happened to those kind of movies that it was a good original idea and it might not have even been super popular, but it had its place. But nowadays, the only advertisements I see for movies, and that's probably because of who they're being advertised from, is superhero movies.
Oh, for
Something
sure. And I hate
something
superhero
I
movies.
exactly, something I couldn't give two shits about. So,
I was tired of them when like Thor and Iron Man were coming out
yeah.
like, a
I mean,
long time ago. It's
I
like, how
watched
many
those
goddamn
movies.
times do we need to remake Spider-Man?
Yeah. Well, that's what I couldn't figure out. Like I watched those movies. I mean, when I was in the Coast Guard, we went, what the hell movie was it? I don't remember. It's some superhero movie and we went to the theater to watch it because a bunch of other guys were going. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go, I guess.
I'll be social, I guess.
Let's yeah, and I was like, I sat through it and at the end we came out and they were like, "Oh my gosh, did you see?" There was some clip at the end, after the credits, there was some weird, crazy clip.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like, dude, that was so and so. Did you, dude? Oh my god, that means in the
yeah.
next. And I'm like, raise my
Who?
hand. I'm like, who is that guy? Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
You know what these people who watch the superhero movies do? Like, what I feel like they need to do is they just watch anime because it's basically the same shit except for better.
Yeah, usually better. I feel like.
But if you like action, just fucking watch anime. It's gonna be better. It really is because people are actually gonna die.
And what's crazy to me in these superhero movies is the budgets are astronomical.
Oh, dude, they make me sick.
Right. But what's sad is I've seen far better movies with like 1/100th the budget of some
Yeah,
of these.
for sure.
That's not what makes the movie good is all your bullshit special effects, all you throw all this money at it just to because you can. That's not what makes it good. Like
No, I definitely agree with you. Bigger doesn't
just
always mean
disappointing.
better.
No, I mean, we've had that conversation before about video games. People complain about the graphics a lot these days. That's the thing. Well, what does it look like in 4K at fucking 144 FPS? It's like Stardew Valley is an amazing game, okay? And that game takes up like 128 kilobytes or some shit on your
Yeah, it doesn't
computer.
even make sense.
Yeah, you could play it on your fucking Game Boy, and it would. That's about how much space it takes up. Is like what a Game Boy game used to take, and that's an amazing game. And it doesn't have the most high tech graphics. That's not the point of it. It's just disappointing when people say that graphics aren't. Doesn't look like I'm looking out my fucking window.
Yeah, okay. And go
Maybe
outside.
Maybe you should just go outside more often and see other things.
Yeah, well, the graphics in real life are amazing.
Oh shit.
Oh, I saw something too about I didn't know that Ellen DeGeneres has like her own animated series. What the fuck is it called?
I'm listening.
Like Little Ellen?
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. I didn't watch it. Supposedly the show's not that bad, but like it got review bombed because, Ellen's kind of a piece of shit.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even really know why Ellen is a bad person. I don't pay attention to like star stuff, I
was gonna
guess.
say, in order to know stuff like that, I would have to give a shit about celebrities or anything like that, and I really don't.
I don't really care about celebrities either.
If I see one more fucking thing about this Johnny Depp and whatever her name is, fucking trial.
What is her name?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Heard something heard. That's how little I care. And every time I see it now, like on my YouTube feed, as if it's suggesting it to me because I might be interested, I straight up say, "Do not recommend channel." I don't want to hear anything about that
I
those people
yeah,
have to
I
say.
feel like you got to be vicious about that on YouTube these days.
Yeah, it is. It's so annoying too because I don't understand how. I honestly feel like it's got to be a huge publicity stunt because most. How is it that something like this, everything's being recorded in the courtroom, and yet things that are actually fucking important, oh, you can't have cameras in here. No cameras allowed. It's like, don't you think stuff like murder trials and things, it would be more important to film them so then you can go back and be like, okay, what did he say? Let's go. So you don't have to be like, hey, stenographer guy, what did he say 10 minutes
Yeah,
ago? This,
yeah, the
sorry, I couldn't
courtroom
keep up. My
artist.
hand was cramping.
Yeah,
Yeah, the courtroom artist.
dude, really, like that
Yeah,
shit's
dude.
real.
I know, and that's what I mean. But it's like, don't you think it would make more sense to film those so that you could be like, no, this is exactly what you said. It. I think it's more
Well,
important to
it would
film
only
that than
make
it
more
is a
sense if.
baseball game.
Oh, for sure,
Or
baseball's fucking terrible.
right.
All sports. Well, but like it would only make sense, I guess, if they were recording it and then showing it back to the jury, because that's the only thing that matters is like what the jury is taking in.
Right. But if somebody was like, nah, I didn't say that. Then it's like, yes, you did. See,
Play it
watch.
back.
I got it's up on YouTube already. Check this out. Like,
Yeah, everybody's making fun of you because you got a little bit of mustard on your teeth.
Yeah. Look at that, dude. 148 likes. Good thing
Yeah.
you can't see the dislikes. Am I right?
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
I don't
my
know.
God, this fucking participation trophy world we're living in.
That has to be what it's about. Yeah. You don't want to hurt people's feelings by putting a little fucking down thumb on their video.
Some people's feelings should get hurt.
I was gonna say maybe that would encourage them to not do it again.
Well, I know the other day I showed you that Trevor Moore video, like the fuck, what's that called? Like my computer became self-aware. But on that same album,
Yeah.
he has a video about bullying, and he's
Okay.
like talking about like certain behaviors you should be bullied for that shit. Like you
Right.
really should be bullied.
Well, that's where this big shift has sort of come from. I feel like is you're very, for the most part, you're very safe when you're sitting at your computer and you're just trash talking someone in the most like vile words you can think of, and you're very safe doing that. But very rarely would those same people walk up to someone and say those words to them.
Well, yeah, because they just get punched in the mouth, and they're not ready
Right.
to be punched in the mouth.
Right. And that's the thing is they feel safe doing, and it's just crazy how disgusting people are when they feel that safe. Like, oh well, this guy's not going to do anything about this if I call him this. And it's like,
Yeah. Tell
no,
people
you
to
are
kill
just,
themselves all day.
yeah, you are just the bottom of the barrel of human beings. Like, stop it. Just
Yeah.
fucking find something better to do. Jesus.
Yeah, fucking. There's so much shit that people just waste time doing. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the stuff I do is not very productive either, but at least I'm not harming other people with my behavior. I'm not like
Yeah.
actively going on subreddits and be like, "Ooh, you think this game is good? Well, you're dumb. Here's why you should kill yourself in the morning."
Yeah, and then you go back through that same person's post history so you can find
Yeah,
every post
dude.
they've made to do it. Yeah, it's like that is weird. That's like psychotic shit. Like, of course we all do shit that wastes time these days. Of course we do. This
Some of that
podcast
stuff is
is not a
funny
waste
to
of your
me.
time.
No, I mean, well, hopefully you're having a good time listening to it while you're like folding the laundry, cooking at the gym, perhaps.
Bingo. Right. Exactly.
Or maybe you're playing Elden Ring and you're just riding torrent and listening to us. It sounds great. But some of the trolling online I think is hilarious. Have I ever told this stuff that like happened to Shia LaBeouf that I think is like some of the funniest shit that's ever happened?
I'm listening.
Well, because he was like when Trump was in office, he was like like big, like one love, blah blah blah, all this stuff, and he had this flag up, and like immediately people took it down and like fucking fucked this shit, and so he put it in like an undisclosed location, and he was like it was like a 24-hour feed of this like flag up. I don't remember what it said. Within 24 hours, people were able to track the flights that were flying over to triangulate where it was, track it down, and take it down. Within 24 hours, people figured it out.
Yeah, that part of the internet creeps me out.
It's so funny, dude. Like that's hilarious to me. Though they're just like, there's no way they're gonna find this shit, and like immediately people do it.
Yeah. The level of trolling is impressive. Yeah.
It is super creepy that they could just see like a picture of the night sky and be like, oh, I know right where that is. pretty creepy. Like
I mean,
the Japanese guy who, like, one of the pop idols, she took a picture and like the reflection from her eyeball, he knew what train station that was and kidnapped her from it.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
insane. Yeah.
Well, even what's crazy too is it's not even just insanely popular people. So, do you know who Louis Rossman is on YouTube?
I don't think so.
So he started out his channel. He does like MacBook repairs he started out in New York City. He owned a MacBook repair store. And so what he would do is he'd make videos of himself repairing these Macs, showing people how to repair them. And he has since he basically just does vlogs every day, just kind of sharing his thoughts. And his thoughts are good and very well balanced thoughts, enough to have over 2 million subscribers. Okay.
Jeez.
Well, he recently moved to like New Hampshire or something like that to get out of the city of New York because he lived in New York City. And he said basically not even long after he moved there, somebody messaged him. They like emailed him or something like that. And long story short, he said the part of it that he didn't like, they basically were hinting that they know right where he lives.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and he was like, "Okay, look, that's not fucking cool. And if you continue to say things like that, like I will take legal action against you." So it's just crazy that the things that people will do on the internet, like it's bizarre.
It is pretty bizarre. Oh, and then we're gonna get an email like, "Oh, we know right where you guys live." It's like, "Oh fuck, how'd you know?"
Yeah.
You can come find me. I don't even care.
They won't find you. You don't have internet where you live.
That's
You're
true.
right.
I'm off the grid, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're off the grid, right?
Just try and find me, bitch.
Oh, we got a new email. Oh, never mind. They know right where you live. That's a picture of your place.
Yeah. Like, oh fuck.
That was fast.
Yeah. We don't have that many fans though, so I doubt it. And like, no disrespect to our fan base, but I don't feel like they'd be that dedicated to trolling us. They all seem like pretty solid people who probably have lives of their own and actually have responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the crowd we're going for, is the people with responsibilities. Those are our people.
Yeah, those are our homies.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day and it said something like, "What was the dumbest thing you wished for when you were a kid?" And the answer was to be a grown up. I was like, "Oh, yeah,
so true.
it's so true."
Yeah, being a grown up's not that great.
So I tell my kids, I'm like, just stay young. You don't want to, because my oldest always says that. I can't wait till I'm a grown up. And I'm like, yes, you can. Trust me, yes, you can. We all think that, but you don't want to be a grown up. Then you got responsibilities and stuff. And you got like pay bills and
job.
Shit. Yeah, you have to actually get a job.
I mean, think about your diet. You fucking.
I mean, most of us get a job and stuff, and give a shit about things like diet and stuff.
Don't have to, I guess.
Yeah, some people, and I feel like that is more common these days too. And it's almost not their fault when you have like man children that are grown babies. I feel like we've been set up in this because, while the price of everything goes up, for some reason my fucking wages stay the same. So It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it's a crumbling system for sure. I don't
without
know.
even getting too political about it.
I don't feel like it has anything to do with politics. I think it's I feel like it doesn't matter who's in power. These things are going to be happening anyway.
It's just greed. That's all
it is. It is greed, and it's just like fucking 10 people have most of the money.
I actually had this conversation with Dad the other day because of what's going on with our job and our union and stuff like that. And I said, when you got this job 20 years ago, this was an amazing job to have. Like 20 years ago, if you told somebody you work for the railroad, people were like, "Holy shit, that must be a good job. You must make good money." And 20 years ago, you did. But guess what? You almost make the exact same amount of money now as you did 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty depressing.
Yeah, but guess what? The price of a fucking house has quadrupled. The price of going to school has quadrupled. The price of gas, that's a dumb one because it goes up and down. But it's it's just insane how plateaued some of these jobs that were supposed to be some of the best in the world have gotten.
Well, I feel like they're realizing, like, wait, we still get people to show up and work here, but we don't have to pay them more.
Yeah,
Well, fuck it.
And we can kind of treat them like shit, and they still show
Yeah,
up.
dude.
Where are they gonna go? Everybody treats them like shit. Doesn't matter where they go,
I
so they're
know,
not gonna leave.
so depressing.
Yeah, it's like 1984, man. We are freaking proletariats.
Dude, for sure.
As long as we give them some money enough to buy alcohol, they'll be fine, and they'll
Well, alcohol
continue
and
to
play the lottery.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Which it always blows my mind when I like go to like some gas station, and some guy obviously looks pretty shifty almost every time. And he's like, "Oh, give me like fucking 20 Powerball and blah blah blah, 20 of that and fucking whatever." And I'm always annoyed because I'm like, "God damn, this could take 20 minutes."
Yeah,
But
you're
like,
like, ugh.
I know, but it's just
Go
like,
waste your money somewhere else.
yeah, like, can you please waste your money at some other fucking 7-Eleven, please?
The lottery is for people who don't understand how taxes work.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, you thought you were gonna get 1.3 billion, and Uncle Sam wasn't gonna take his nice slice? You're crazy.
Yeah, the lottery's a weird one. I don't really get it.
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like when whoever that person that won the 1.3 billion or whatever, they still got a lot of money. It was like $600 million, but it wasn't the full amount. It's not what you were, And then all it did
No.
is make the other poor saps. They're like, "Oh, I could win that much money too."
Yeah.
No, not really. Like,
Yeah, this is a depressing world we live in. Everybody hoping to get rich, and it's just not how it works. And I mean, I feel like it kind of
it's
links back to the movies that we were talking about, right? It's like Rags to Riches is a really impressive story, but like it can't happen to everyone.
I feel like rags to riches these days. I'm not gonna make such a bold statement and say it can't happen, but it's
Well,
very,
hey, how
very,
could everybody
very
be rich?
uncommon.
Everybody
Right.
can't be rich because then nobody's rich.
Yeah. Very good point. It goes along with too what kind of bums me out about the way things have been trending. A lot of young people want to do things like this, like make a podcast and make a living out of it. And that's a great like aspiration. You want to be like a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or whatever. But just don't forget, like when you're a Twitch streamer and you're like, "Hang on a second, guys, I gotta order some food." Another fucking Twitch streamer doesn't bring you your fucking food. So
Yeah.
the world doesn't run on those sorts of like the jobs that everybody dreams to have these days. Like that's not what the world functions on. Obviously, I know I'm not talking to like older people, but younger people. That it's a good aspiration to have, but it's also quite the gamble since we're talking about gambling because it takes a ton of luck to actually make that happen these days.
Which is, it's funny you bring that up because I know you watch like Jenkins, sometimes he does Dota videos.
Yeah,
And he
for
he
sure.
had, he had a stream the other day. It was like a little 30-second clip of like why Dota ruined his life. He was like, yeah, I because he was like trying to install an air conditioner and he had to like call his dad. And he's like my age. He might be a little bit older than me. He was like, yeah, I don't know how to do that because for the last 7 years, all I've done is play Dota, and I'm amazing at Dota, and I can tell you anything you need to know about Dota. But life, I don't know shit.
Right. And that's yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, and people, yeah, you want to talk, I feel like people shit on like service industries way too often, but it's an insane convenience that you can literally drive your fucking car up to a window and someone just hands you food out of it.
Yeah, dude,
Like
it's dope.
that's incredible. I mean,
You barely even have to talk to him. It's dope.
well, you don't even have to drive your car there anymore. You don't even have to own a fucking car. You just call the place and they bring it to you. So
That's very true. They leave it at your doorstep, and you don't have to say a word to anyone.
yeah, you don't even have to see them. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, and I could get off on a huge tangent about that. I don't want to because it's depressing, but it just bums me out when people are forgetting that there are jobs that because of the way we've built the society, still need to be done for the society to function correctly. So
Until they figure out robots out, I guess, and then we get
yeah,
even
well,
poorer.
yeah, no kidding. Whoa! You're trying to talk about like some fucking Marxist shit? Come on now,
What do you
fucking
mean?
fascist. That's what basically what the idea behind Marxism is.
Okay, you're telling me if a company, okay, say you like the railroad could use robots instead of mechanics. What the fuck are you gonna do?
No,
They're not gonna
that's
they're not gonna
right.
pay more money to like the robots. The robots would work every day, 24/7, basically like a one-time lump sum, and that's all they have to pay for them.
And you're
Well, like, where
absolutely
are you
right.
gonna get your money from?
No. That's you're right. That's the idea behind Marxism, though. And what's funny when I hear people, I was being, what's the right word? Facetious? Is that the right word?
Well, yeah, like
I was
sarcastic, but in meaning to be an asshole.
exactly because I don't think that there are like I don't think Marxism as a whole is bad. People are going to be like, "Ooh, you fucking fascist! What's wrong with you, you piece of shit?" But the idea behind fascism is that once we got to that point, like say we all had fucking robots, that cleaned your house and fucking jerk you off and whatever else they do.
Of course, there's gonna be sex bots for sure.
Oh, dude, they're probably yeah. That's got to be the first thing that anybody came up with.
Yeah, there might already be sex bots.
Right after that dude sent a picture of his dick on the internet, he also was like, "Hey, I have a great idea for a sex robot." So, anyways, the idea though is that as those things developed, that people would just work less and less, and you would just enjoy your life more because all these things were already being taken care of for you, so you wouldn't have to work so much.
Right. Okay.
And for some reason, people are like, "No, Marx is a piece of shit, and he's a fucking dirtbag." I'm like, why? That sounds like a great idea to me.
Right. If we didn't have to work as much, it'd be dope. But like if they invent fucking whatever, like robots that can do literally everything, it's like, well, then they're not gonna pay us to do shit. They're not gonna
Right.
care.
And what's crazy is they are already getting robots to take plenty of people's jobs,
Yeah.
and they're charging more money for the stuff.
Well, yeah, because they're fucking smart. They're not stupid.
And they're greedy. Yeah. It's yeah, greed and I guess just not giving two shits about how other people, what happens to other people.
Oh no, people don't care at all.
I mean,
I mean,
there's
I
a
barely care.
reason there's a reason that I mean, because the idea of like trickle down economics was a great idea, that the guy at the top would make a lot of money, but then that money obviously would funnel down to his workers. Therefore, his workers would make money, a lot of money too, because the guy at the top is making a lot of money. But I remember seeing this thing on Reddit a long time ago, and it was, like those glass wine glass pyramids they build
Yeah.
sometimes. You see those pictures of them, and they were pouring like the money into the top one, and instead of it trickling down to the rest, the top one just kept growing to get all of the fucking liquid in the top. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what has happened with the trickle down economics. That's why your fucking Bill Gateses and Jeff Bezoses and stuff exist, they literally have more money to their name than some fucking countries have in the world.
Yeah,
So
dude.
like
Oh my god, that's so depressing.
that's what I mean. And it's fucking weird because it's like, at what point can you just be like, you know what? That's enough. That's enough money. I don't need any more. That's plenty.
Yeah, no, it's never enough, man. You gotta have all of it. Literally
Yeah,
all of it.
apparently that yeah.
Oh,
I mean, and that's also it's a byproduct of capitalism. I mean,
oh,
that's
for sure.
you know, it just bums
Fucking
me out that here in the United States, everybody is so against, if you were like, hey, our healthcare should be free, they'd be like, oh, you fucking socialist piece of shit. Why don't you go to fucking Russia, you fucking communist? It's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. This country as a whole could easily have like social health things. And I understand that some like Oregon has one and things like that for less fortunate people, but we should all benefit from that because there's no reason we shouldn't, other than the fact that big pharma is greedy as fuck and wants all our money.
everybody's greedy, dude. It's like I feel like
Yeah.
it's inherent human nature to be greedy.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so like it's like it's coming to a head. It's at some point. It's got to.
I
Unless
feel
like
like it is.
we're all just gonna be living in a slum someday. Like fucking, I know Ready Player One's not an amazing book or movie, but like we're literally just like trailers stacked on top of each other and like a skyscraper. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna get that bad. It
right.
really is.
And everybody pretty much wants to live in this VR world
Yeah,
because
because the
that's
regular
the
world
only
is
escape.
trash.
Yeah, and they get their jobs in the VR world instead of the real world.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's so fucking stupid. Oh
yeah.
my
I
god, what's going on?
I don't know, man. It's the freaking Kali Yuga, dude. It's the bottom of the barrel. We have to be getting close to the bottom. There's no way we're not.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh man, I don't know.
It's time for a it's time for a hard reset.
Like what? Like a meteor? I'm banking on Yellowstone.
I love the fucking things where it's like a meme and it's like Jesus and he's like waking up from a nap and he's like, oh, let's check on the human. Oh shit! What did they do? Like,
Yeah.
oh god, what happened here?
Oh yeah, we're trash, man. We were never made like. I think evolutionarily we should never have had this much control over everything.
Well, we're just so fucking disconnected with the way. I mean, because we're at the end of the day, we're still just animals. So we're so disconnected from the way other animals interact with the environment and things like that that we're screwed.
Yeah, I mean we are screwed. I think we're screwed anyway, right?
Yeah, I'm still 100% convinced that we as humans we're a mistake of some kind, or we're not supposed to be here.
Maybe we are, dude. Maybe
Because,
we are.
well, think about it. We're never fucking comfortable. You go outside and you're like,
That
oh,
is
it's way too fucking
so
hot out here,
true.
or it's way too cold out here. It's like you're not like a fucking wolf who goes from like a sunny day and then he goes walks up a hill and it's snowy and he's like, man, whatever, man, I'm a fucking wolf. I don't care.
Well, you
Like
don't
I
see
got
the wolf
fur.
wearing a fucking parka and boots and shit.
Yeah, you don't see the wolf wearing another wolf as a jacket.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
so, so
Like, it's so that is true.
I've just always find that I always have found that fascinating. And some people will be like, well, it's because our brains are so big, we adapt and we made an air conditioner. It's like, yeah, but by that logic, we're still really stupid because clearly we weren't meant to live where it's so fucking hot. If you go outside, you'll die.
Yeah,
So just don't
exactly.
live in those places. But yet we did anyways.
We
I
live
mean, at some
everywhere.
point,
We're fucking all over the place.
yeah, at some point, I've driven through some towns in Nevada. I'm like, who stopped here and was like, yep, this is it. This is where we're building a town. There's
Those are my
nothing
kind
but
of places,
rocks.
dude.
Yeah, there's nothing but rocks here. What are you gonna do out here?
I don't know. Farm, talk to each other, I guess.
We're gonna farm cactuses, man.
Yeah, dude. Somebody's gonna do it.
We're gonna drink cactus milk.
Don't call anything from a plant milk. That shit pisses me off. Your fucking almond milks and oat milks, that's oat water. That's almond water. Don't fucking try and get it twisted.
How do they even make that stuff?
I'm lactose intolerant. Shut the fuck up. And you don't get milk, bitch.
Yeah. Then you don't.
Sorry,
get
that one
something
legitimately pisses me off.
Dude, no, I love it. That's awesome. Wait, so how do they get those things like soy
almonds?
milk and things?
Almonds,
milk?
I think they press them and then they get like the nasty fucking almond water out of them. Oats, I think they like soak them and then like emulsify them or something. I don't know. I worked with a guy that made a bunch of oat milk. It's actually kind of a funny story. So I like went out with one of my friends one night. We were drinking and he wasn't drinking, but I was, and he like took us somewhere else, and I was in his backseat of his car. And that day, he had gotten like this huge fucking jar of oat milk from the guy, and he hadn't had a chance to try it yet. And I open the door, and it just shatters on the sidewalk. It just breaks and shatters all over the place.
Oh no!
Oh man, that's what he gets for fucking oat milk, dude.
Yeah,
Oat water. It's water.
It's bound to happen.
It was bound to happen. That's what you get for being a bitch.
Yeah, that's what you get for being weird.
And I mean, like, I understand, like, ooh, I'm freaking lactose intolerant. Well, then you just don't get to have milk. You can't have things named milk. It's fucking marketing bullshit.
Yeah, I am allergic to bananas, so I don't ask them to, hey, can you
Yeah,
make something that's not a banana,
yeah,
but
but
make
it
it in the
tastes
same
kind of
shape
like
and
bananas.
flavor? Yeah. Could
Ugh.
you please do that for me? Because no, it's no,
I
I just
just
don't
can't
eat
have my
bananas.
coffee without milk, so I like to put oat milk in it. Just drink it black, you little bitch. You don't like
Yeah,
coffee
don't
then.
don't be a pussy. Yeah, just drink it black. That's the only way to do it, anyways.
Oh, I'm sorry for coming in like so hot. I never get like angry on the podcast.
It's all good. It's perfect. I love it. Controversial topics of oat
Is
milk.
that
I like it.
controversial? Like honestly,
I
like
don't know. You called a collective group of people pussies, so I
yeah, because
mean,
they are.
right? See, so they're therefore controversial tag. I
Yeah,
love it.
I get. Oh, I would love the angry email. Oh, I
Yeah.
would love that shit.
Listen up, you fucking meat eating
Yeah,
douchebag.
yeah.
Go.
I'm on the carnivore diet
What
right
is
now
he?
too. So
I
come at me,
know.
vegans.
What does he do? What does he say on Grandma's Boy? Let's go choke on a cow's dick.
Yeah, go choke on a cow. Oh, when they're like at the fucking, what is the guy's name? Shiloh, and they call him like Guy Blow or some
Yeah.
shit.
You said it wrong,
It's fucking
stupid. It's
David
Shiloh.
Spade.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck,
because the
I
restaurant's called
love
like
it.
it's called like My Lady Health or something.
Oh yeah, we have shots of wheatgrass.
You guys have a bathroom, or do I have to shit in a plant?
Fucking Jonah Hill says that. Oh fuck, forgot
Yeah,
about
dude.
that.
Yeah, that was when Jonah Hill was super fat in that
Oh
movie.
dude, he was turbo fat.
Yeah. Now he's just fat, not turbo fat.
I thought he was skinny now.
I don't think he's skinny. I mean, have you seen those awesome pictures of him though that are
No, the photoshopped
Photoshop?
ones where it looks
Yeah.
like he's on all the gear.
Yeah, and it actually looks legitimate. They didn't make
Yeah,
it go.
dude.
It wasn't so crazy that you couldn't believe it.
Well, yeah, freaking Derek from More Place More Dates did a thing on that actually.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I gotta say, anybody who is curious about like any supplements you should take, definitely check out More Plates More Dates. That dude is a freaking G. Like all the research that he does is insane.
He was on Joe Rogan, man. He's already at the. He's hit the peak of
You're
popularity.
right. I know, and fucking his shoulders weigh more than me, but
I know. I think that's a good suggestion too, though. If anybody was curious about any kind of supplements,
I don't know who's
his
listening
channel.
to this who's like, oh, I'm super health conscious. But
Well, you never know.
it might be one guy who's like in the gym doing his curls right now. He's like, maybe
Well, I
check
mean, that I feel like that's better that you did the research before you started taking that like terkesterone
oh,
stuff. And
Terkesterone?
by doing the research, I mean you watched Derek's video of his research about it.
It's true. It's not like I
But
did the research myself.
but at
It's a
least
lazy
his
man's
video
way.
at least his video isn't like just a 10 minutes of like, what's going on YouTube, we got this new fucking supplement
No,
we're
dude,
gonna
he's
try out. I'm
super
gonna
low
slam
energy,
the
and I love that.
Yeah. I'm gonna slam the whole bottle right now and hope my dick doesn't fall off. Like at least he doesn't do that. Yeah, he just his stuff is legit. And like I said, he was talking about when they made the nootropics for the gorilla mind that he or the gorilla what is it? Brain smooth?
Gorilla Mind smooth.
Mind smooth. There you go. He he figured out that particular mix legitimately on his own, mixing powders one at a time together. Yeah, well, that's what he went to school for, was that kind of shit, man. Like, that's why he understands it.
I didn't realize that he was on fucking steroids for a while, which maybe makes sense looking at him because he's fucking insane. His shoulders are like that's gold. Like I want to look like that, but it's not possible unless I
they look like Death Stars, dude.
Ass. I know, and his video, the Death Star one is great when they're like coming into the Death Star and it's his shoulder.
Yeah.
That shit is great. I mean, let's talk a little bit about health and fitness. I feel like we haven't talked about that. Like recently, I've been getting back in the gym. I mean, Ryan knows all this, but fucking the listeners. And I've been like on the carnivore diet. Lost about 20 pounds in 3 weeks, which is pretty fucking good.
Dude, have you really? Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I know, but even mom was like, "Man, your face looks so much thinner," which, like, yeah, that feels good to hear.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, I don't know, like, what have you been doing in the gym? Like, like I don't know. Are you like lifting? Like, what's your split like?
Yeah, I finally have been because I was out of it pretty much through the whole pandemic
Oh, me too.
because
Almost 2 years.
yeah, almost 2 years because one, I didn't want to get sick in the beginning. Two, when they were like, you can and the gyms were closed. And then they were like, you can come back, but you have to wear a mask. I was like,
And schedule a time.
and yeah, that kind of bullshit. I was just like, you know what? I'm just not gonna go. So I still did like a lot of yoga and stuff at the house. So I stayed in.
Well, you've been a lot of
Uh,
like a calisthenics kind of guy.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was like hardcore about it at the house.
I mean, you
But
were
now
in
that
the fucking gym. I've seen you do some nutty shit.
that was that was the old me, man. That was like 2 years ago. So
Dude, I've seen like I know you guys don't know what we look like, but Ryan is a little bit smaller than me, but like turbo jacked, dude. Like you were
oh
in
my god,
such good
whatever,
shape.
dude.
You
Whatever. You're so
when
full of
me and you
shit.
were going together all the time, you were so jacked, dude. It was ridiculous. That
I don't know
Anytime
about that.
Fitness that we went to, you were easily the strongest person that went in there.
No,
Easily.
that is not
Yes, you
true at all.
were. Don't believe the bullshit Ryan was.
Also, really short though. It takes a lot of points away from me. So,
No, it doesn't. That doesn't shrink your cock.
um, now that I've been getting back in though, I've been just trying to do. I pretty much went back to my old the way I used to do stuff. So I do legs one day, and then I do and back one day, and then chest one day, and then shoulders and arms on one day.
So
And
you do shoulders and arms all in one. So you do like shoulders, bis, and tris.
yes, correct. That's what I'm doing right now. I might go back to what I was doing for a while and do legs and shoulders, chest and back, and then biceps and triceps on one day, but I don't know yet.
See, I do legs, chest and back, bis, tris, and
Hmm.
shoulders get their own day just because I
Yeah.
want some ball in shoulders.
Yeah, and I actually like doing a chest and back split. A lot of people will say that that's dumb because you're doing push and pull on the same day,
I thought that was
but
a good idea.
I like that split actually of doing that. Um, I
I mean, it
try
can get a little
not.
tricky because you could do like bench press and deadlift in the same day. That seems a little
Mhm.
nutty to me. And I have done
Yeah,
that
and those
before.
are those are both big
I mean,
lifts.
those are two of the three big lifts.
Right. You, I just don't like getting stuck in the legs and then chest and triceps and back and buys. I I try not to always go to that. I mean, it works for a lot of people, and it has worked for me in the past, but I try not to just stick with that. I guess I get bored doing that sometimes.
Yeah, it can get a little boring sometimes. I mean, it recently hasn't been too bad.
No, and I'm almost feeling like newbie gains again, if that makes sense, because
No,
of
me too.
yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of like I've gone way down. Like my weights have gone way down, but the the speed that I'm coming back towards the weights that I was at in the past is really it's fun to do that in a way because yeah, you're basically seeing those newbie gains again, even though you're not a complete newbie.
I don't see, but like that stuff almost pisses me off. That it's like, man, I lost so much, and I have to like claw my way back.
Yeah, I have for sure, man. I laid down on the bench the other day and I was doing 185 and I did 8 reps. It
Oh
was
my god,
really
that's still insane to me.
it was really difficult. And but what pisses me off is when I was in really good shape a couple years ago, I was doing 185 for 3 sets of 10. So
Yeah.
I've come way the fuck down. And I'm not even like 185 for 3 sets of 10. People will be like, what a bitch. But like to me, like that was good for me.
That's
Those were
pretty good.
good numbers.
I can't bench press that much. I've never been able to bench press shit though. Like I don't know what it is about my chest. My chest is like so weak. Bench press
Well,
scares
and
the hell out of me if I don't have somebody to fucking spot me.
and that's fair and that's smart. That's another thing though for me that I've also been trying to get out of my head is um there's a couple of guys I work with, and there's a bunch of them that go to the gym, and they always want to talk about like their 1 rep maxes.
Well, yeah, but that's dumb.
Exactly. I'm like, that's cool. So when you bench 275 next time and you tear your fucking pec muscle and you can't come back to this job for 6 months while your pec muscle recovers, how's that going to look on your paycheck? Because I bet your paycheck doesn't reflect how much bench press you do.
No, it doesn't. And but I also feel like to truly be strong, when are you doing something once? Like never, right?
Yeah, exactly. I would prefer. I like to do a mix of it, obviously being pretty heavy, at least for me, but still being able to get reps in. That's why I'm still very much so stuck in like the 3 sets of 10, because at least that is a decent amount of time under tension that you're doing something.
Right. Yeah, I've been doing like more like sets of 15. I'll usually do like 3 sets of 15 or like 4 sets of 15, kind of keeping the weight low. I mean, sometimes I like to
Yeah,
just
and
see
that's a good
like what I
strategy
can
too.
do, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
and that's fine. I don't fault anyone for being like, well, I want to see, how strong I've gotten. I don't fault anyone for that. Just don't hurt yourself. I've known
Oh,
guys in the
for
gym
sure.
who hurt themselves by lifting in the gym, and their job was like a supervisor at a welding shop. So the amount of weight you lift has nothing to do with your actual life.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like,
Oh,
yes, is it a good feeling? Yeah, of course it is, but definitely be smart about it. Like you said, yeah, don't freaking get under the bench by yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, because you're feeling really good that night and you're the only one in the gym and be like, that's it, I'm gonna fucking see how much I can bench. And you lift that bitch off there and boom, hits your chest and you're stuck. You can't get it off.
God, the other day I was bench pressing at the Anytime in Caldwell, and it's super small. The only two people that were in there was this girl that's probably like 95 pounds, and this other girl that was like 110. And so I was like, man, if I can't lift this off of me, I'm gonna die. Like this is how it ends.
Yeah.
There's not much that I can do about it.
Well, when I was in there the other day, this guy very unknowingly made me feel really stupid.
Okay.
So when I was doing the 185, uh, next thing I know, he's standing over me, like he was spotting me, and
Okay. Well, that's good.
I was on like my 6th rep, and I did my other 2 reps, and I racked it. And I was like, "Thanks, man, I appreciate it." And a little bit later, he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, man, if I'm ever in here, and you want to go real heavy, you just come get me, and I'll
Oh, that's
spot
really
you."
nice of him.
But I wanted to be like, "Dude, that was really heavy for me. Like, what the fuck?" Thanks a lot.
You were like, oh, yeah, I just like to keep it light on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
You're like a single tear comes from your eye.
Yeah. Turn around and your bottom lip's quivering.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got something in my eye. I'll be right back.
That's really funny.
Yeah, he unknowingly made me feel like such a piece of
He
shit.
just punched you in your pride.
Yeah. It was so smooth though. Yeah, if you want to ever insult somebody, you just walk up and
Really
spot them,
good,
and when they're done, you just be like, "Dude, if you ever want to go real heavy,
yeah, if
just
you
come
really
get
want to
me."
like push the limits, like let me know. That's so good.
It was funny.
Because when people bench, I kind of like will watch out of the corner of my eye just in
Here,
case. I don't know why I feel like I gotta be the guardian angel, but
oh, I do that too.
I
Here,
do. Like I'm always like,
keep
like, are you gonna die, man? I'm here.
keep talking. I can still hear you. I gotta go let my dog out.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Ryan's got a new dog. Oh man, what else to talk about the gym? I mean, I haven't really been doing too much. Like, I feel like it's super embarrassing, like how weak my fucking like chest and biceps and triceps are. I feel like it's ridiculous. Like how I feel like I look like I should be super strong. And as Ryan knows, like my legs are super strong, and like I have a really good squat form. But like other than that, I feel like I'm not that strong. Like I can like row pretty heavy. Like my back is strong, and like I know that people are like, this is fucking faggot. I could do like 12 pull-ups, but like when me and Ryan were training together, it took me a long time to even be able to get one pull-up. and I can still get like I can get like 2 now still, which is like to me it's kind of impressive. Like pull ups are very hard. I feel like some people are built for them and some people aren't, and I'm not. But like I can still get a couple, so I haven't lost as much strength, I guess, as I thought I have. But just like my arms, my shoulders, and my chest are just like a problem areas for me, and it's like it's very hard, it's very disheartening to me when it's like, man, I'm only gonna be able to curl the 15s today. It's all I can really really do, or my biceps are gonna explode. It's just
Dude,
it bums me out. It's like I feel like
no,
my arms should be stronger, but they're not.
I trust me, I completely get it because I don't know how many times this morning I there's a little gym in my hotel, and that's where I worked out this morning. And I was doing curls, seated curls,
Oh yeah.
and 25s for 10 reps. That was it. And by the 10th rep, I was like, "Oh, okay, man,
Freaking
feeling weirdly
veins are
heavy."
popping out in your neck.
No, dude, no. I, it was weird though. Like I, especially because when we were going hard, when we were going all the time, and I was at a point where I could like comfortably curl like the
I
45s for
know.
like 8
I've
reps.
seen it.
I mean, and to some people it's like fucking pussy. But to me that was like it felt good. And so then yeah, when you go in and you're like, can't hardly pick up the 45s anymore. They're kind of heavy.
That's what
So
I do my shrugs with.
so but that's the that's the one thing that people need to remember though is when you go to the gym, you gotta leave. I mean, and that's very cliche, leaving the ego behind. But when you go in there, you don't need to give a shit what anybody else is doing because the
No.
only person you're really competing with in there is yourself.
Well, yeah, it's you versus you.
Right. It's you versus last time you were there.
Yeah,
Can you do
exactly.
a little bit better than last time? And don't it's not it's not a big deal that if you went one time and say you benched 135, maybe you got 4 reps, 135. It's also not a big deal if you come back next week and you can still only do that again. Like that's
Yeah.
not a big deal. you The idea is that you are continuing to go and the gains will follow for sure.
Well, I think part of that I don't agree with is like you got to be pushing yourself. Like going is not enough, right? You need to be
That's true,
going
yeah.
there and like giving it everything.
And that's true, yeah. That
Because
is a good point.
I used to think of it that way. It's like, oh, at least I went. It's like, yeah, but did you fucking go as hard as you could? Did
Right.
you like? Are you really tired enough? Could you have got one more rep? Like, if you don't feel comfortable when you leave, and you're like every time I leave, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, man, I fucking did that shit. I crushed it. But like,
Right.
when you leave and you're like, I could have done a little bit better. Like that feels bad.
Yeah, it happens to me more often now than it ever has before because I have a family. So I'm like, oh, I can't stay here for 2 hours. I have a family, I have responsibilities, I have other stuff I gotta do. So that for sure, there's plenty of times where I walk out and I'm like, I could have done one more set, or I could have stayed for 15 more minutes or 20 more minutes. But oh well.
I don't know.
My biggest goal is to also not just have a regular dad bod. So
You've always been in good shape. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
well,
Regular dad bod.
guys always use that as an excuse. Oh, it's my dad bod. It's like, dude, oh, that's not an excuse. Lazy piece of shit bod doesn't have to equal dad bod. Like you can be in good shape and be a dad. It's a lot
Yeah.
different for a mom. Her body actually went through some real changes. Yours did not. So it's
Yeah.
not an
I gained a lot
excuse.
of sympathy weight.
Yeah, that's called just being fat.
Yeah. Which I mean, I get that lifestyle too. It's pretty easy to be lazy, especially if you're like stuck in those patterns. It's
Oh,
hard to like
it's
break yourself out.
insanely easy, man. You know how hard it has been for me to go back to the gym? You know how easy it was to just stop going? It was
It
so
was
easy.
so easy, yeah.
Yeah, it was insanely easy to stop going.
But the funny thing to me is, it's like it hasn't been that hard for me to go back. Like once I went back, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that like my fucking anxiety goes away and like I
Yeah.
feel so much better. And like I notice a lot too in like my the way I speak is different. And like I'm kind of like willing to like fucking go for that joke I wouldn't normally go for, or like say that like risky thing. if I've been going to the gym because like my overall confidence level is higher.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I feel like it makes me a different person, and like for the better. Like I like me a lot more that way,
Right.
and it's like I almost forgot, I guess, who I used to be.
Become another person.
Yeah, exactly.
Hang
Oh
on,
man,
I gotta go let the dog back in. Keep talking.
okay, yeah. Well, I mean, you made me think of what's that movie called, The Master of Disguise? I haven't seen that movie in fucking forever. Used to watch that shit all the time. I feel like there was a period of time when we were sharing a room when that movie would be on like every single night. That movie is so good. I don't even know who the main guy in that movie is. Oh man, I haven't thought about that movie in freaking years. But that kind of like loops back to what we were talking about before, like those one-off movies that didn't have a bunch of sequels and didn't get beaten into the ground. I, I don't know. I wonder if like the sequels are more appealing because people know what to expect, and so like there's more people are going to come to those seats because they basically have already seen it. Like the first movie, the second movie is usually not that much different. It's just like the plot changes a little bit, the bad guy gets shifted around a little bit, but it really is hitting all the same beats. So like is are sequels more appealing, I guess, to like the producers because it's easier? It's easier to make a sequel than it is to make like a new original thing that is, I guess, kind of risky when you think about it. Like a new IP is a more risky proposition because you don't know if that fan base is there. And so like they're just playing it safe over and over and over again and just making like fucking Thor 12 this time with 12-inch dick.
Well, I feel like none, and I don't really like these movies anyways, but none has been more egregious than that than the new Star Wars.
Oh my god, don't even get
Because
me started about that whole fucking franchise.
well, the new trilogy, I mean, everybody knows this by now. That everybody that's not a fan of it already knows this because the fans will look past this shit. But like the newest or the first of the new trilogy was literally a rehash of the original trilogy. Like the
Yeah,
same thing. Almost to a T. And it that's not okay. Like come on. That's not okay to do shit like that. I
well,
feel
people
like
just
you
want to
were
see the Millennium Falcon and lightsabers and the fucking Force and
oh Jesus.
stormtroopers. That's like
Yeah.
what people want.
I know. Yeah. Dude, there was freaking videos on Reddit of people cheering in the theater the first
Yeah,
time they saw the Millennium Falcon on the new sequel or on the new trilogy, and it's like that. No, what? No, come on. I like how Mahler breaks it down because he's like so many things in that. I don't even remember what it's called. Is that the Force Awakens?
dude, I have literally no fucking idea. I haven't seen a
Okay.
single one.
Well, let's call it The Force Awakens because that's the only name I can remember. In that one, it's so like he basically lays out all the points. He's like, these things, the fact that they all happen simultaneously and so close together just screams of plot devices. There's no other
Yeah,
way to see it when you're watching it because there's no way those things could have happened by chance.
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
When I this is why I think that Super Bad is a good movie.
Okay,
Is I feel like it kind of follows. If you've ever seen stuff with Matt Stone and Trey Parker,
okay,
Trey Parker has a big thing when he does his writing. He says the problem with a lot of movies is when they're writing, they say this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. He said when he does his writing, whether it's for South Park or anything else, he he does his best to avoid that because that's how you get stuck in something that's boring and that makes no sense. He said a better way to do it is you say this happens, therefore this happens, but this also happens, which keeps those points tied together.
okay.
If you and the way I that's why I think Superbad is a pretty good movie because if you pay attention to it, each thing happens sequentially to lead into the next thing instead of like that. Oh, the Millennium Falcon just happens to be on the fucking planet right outside the city that we're in. And it just happens so that we know how to fly it as soon as we get on it. That doesn't make any sense. From me, I'm not a writer. I don't know how the fuck to write anything. But if I was in that writing room, I guarantee I'd be like, wait a minute, why? Why is it there? And if somebody's like, oh, because the fans they just want to see it, I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah, and it kind of goes along with like the rule of cool, right? Like, oh, well, it'd be cool if this happened, right?
yeah,
It's
there you
cool.
go.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. And I feel like
Exactly.
even in like our book reviews, we kind of get on shit like that we don't like, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Just because it's cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. It still needs to fit into the puzzle that you're putting together. It's kind of why I have a problem with time skips in some instances, in whether that's in like an anime or something like that, or a book, because it's almost like the writer is like, well, kind of out of ideas for this, so if I do a time skip, I can just start wherever I want
Right.
and doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm trying to think of like a time skip that I like, and I can't really come up with anything. That's not a good thing.
No,
Hmm.
there's none that stick with me like in my head to a point where I could cite it as a good time skip.
Yeah, I can't think of any. That's not a good sign. Shit. Hmm. No, you're definitely onto something there. Well,
I it,
not that I'm a writer, but like I don't even remember who said this, but like the story should be about the most like the most interesting part of that person's life, right? So if you have to
mhm.
do a time skip, I guess it doesn't. It's not really the most interesting part of their life, right?
Yeah, because you just skipped a big chunk of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. Yeah, coming from two guys who know nothing about writing. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an armchair writer. I just talk about other people's writing.
Yeah. Yeah, we just do the easy part. So
True.
I mean, I have aspirations to one day finish this, to turn the story that I've written into a book, maybe someday, but probably would
I've
never
tried
happen.
writing too, but I've just never shown it to anybody.
I feel like the idea of a muse is, there's a lot of truth to that,
Oh, for sure, dude.
because the the big chunks of the story that I've written that I really like, I was just slapped with inspiration and I was like, "Holy shit, I got to write this down." And I just started writing and it felt so natural, and it was all coming to me, and then I would get interrupted or something would happen and I could never go back to it and continue on. Whatever spark got me into writing it, it was gone. And it's crazy how that happens.
Yeah, yeah. It's super hard to just sit down and write too.
Yeah,
It's super hard.
right. Well, especially with how distracting the world is today. I mean, it's super
Yeah,
distracting.
exactly. Everything's just fighting for your attention constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the freaking world that we have set up for ourselves.
But yeah, dude, it's just like constant stimulation. I had a question for you, and I kind of I'd be interested to see what you have to say. Why do you think that humans get bored? Like, why do we have the capacity to be bored? Like when we have like fundamentally everything we need, we got like the food, the water, the shelter, the people we like, but you could still be bored. Like, why do you think that we get bored?
I don't know. That's an interesting, very philosophical question. I feel like it is because of that though, right? Because we've moved out of the needing to strive for survival every day phase of humans, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Every day is not necessarily a struggle on whether or not you're going to live or die.
Well, it's
Therefore
never a
you
struggle, right?
right, therefore you have the time to be to think that way, to think, "Huh, I really wish I had something else to do right now." That's what that's how I think of it, at least. Because I bet you'd be hard pressed to find a legitimate Amish person that's bored sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
That barn needs building. Those cows need milking.
right, yeah.
Got to build this
Oh my,
furniture and sell it at the market.
Dude, and I know you don't listen to his stuff anymore, but Dan Cummins did a podcast about the Amish people.
What? Okay.
Yeah, super interesting. I learned a lot. I learned they are it's pretty dark too. The shit.
What? The Amish
Yeah.
is dark?
Well, let's just say like a lot of incest, a lot of rape, a lot of
Okay,
stuff
yeah,
like
that
that.
sounds like regular culture.
And then it gets brought up though, and people are just like, oh well. And I like one of his lines was something about this one guy. They figured out he was, I can't remember, it was like his daughter or something. He was raping her, and they found out. So they shunned him for 6 months. And then he got to come back. And Dan Cummins is like, but if you get a fucking cell phone and a fucking Netflix subscription, you're shunned for life. Yeah,
Yeah,
you raped this little
that's
girl?
pretty
No big
fucked up.
deal. Come on back. It's like, yeah, that's fucking stupid.
That is pretty dark.
Yeah, and then Caitlin's annoyed me too because he did a episode about Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
He's gonna do a 2-part episode. I haven't listened to the second part. And so I'm like telling Caitlin all these things that I've learned. I'm like, did you know this? And did you know this? And she's like, oh my God, stop talking to me about Jeffrey Epstein. It's weird that you're so interested. But
I mean, it's pretty interesting. Super weird and creepy.
it it sort of goes with, because at one point he had the largest privately owned home in New York. So that's saying a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
He paid millions and millions and millions of dollars for this. It's just crazy to me how those things like that. Oh, he's very wealthy. He's rich. He must be a great guy. It's like, no, quite the opposite. He was one of the biggest pieces of shit to walk the face of this earth, most likely. Just a disgusting human being.
Yeah, it's super disgusting, dude. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It,
And who knows if he wasn't, and I'm putting air quotes around this, if he wasn't committed suicide. Um,
no, he didn't kill himself.
who knows how many other people he would have outed?
I think almost everybody in power. I don't know if this is going to be controversial, but I feel like when you're that powerful, I feel like it seems like there is something that makes you just want to have sex with younger people.
Oh, it's got to be just like
And
a
it's been
game,
going on for like eons, dude.
right? Yeah,
Forever.
yeah,
Like
and you're probably right. Yeah,
kings would fuck young like kids.
right,
Like all that shit has always been happening.
right. It's fucking bizarre, man.
It
I
is
mean,
bizarre and it freaks me out. And it truly disgusts me that like the lengths of human depravity of basically ruining someone else's fucking life forever.
right. Yeah,
Super fucking stark.
and that's what I mean, though. I mean, this dude owned 2 islands, islands where he could bring these people, young girls, especially, that's what he was into, and do whatever the fuck he wanted. And the people who all worked for him wouldn't be like, dude, you can't do that. No, no. He'd be like, oh yeah, you want $1,000? They'd be like, oh yeah, okay, never mind. I didn't
More
see
than
anything.
1,000.
Well, that's
There's a
actually,
documentary about him on Netflix, isn't there?
yeah, there is. I started to watch it one time at the dentist office.
What?
I
Excuse what?
I was
Excuse
having
me?
I was having dental work done, and they let me watch a thing on TV on the ceiling, and that's what I put on.
Fucking Jeffrey Epstein. What?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh my god. That is so funny to me.
Well, so what's crazy is I didn't even really know who this dude was
Me
until
neither.
he killed himself. I mean, I had no idea about any of the stuff. Yeah, I had seen some stuff on Reddit, but again, along with a lot of celebrity stuff, I was like, whatever, don't care, don't care, don't care. Yeah, exactly. But then I listened to this I started to watch that thing on Netflix, and I didn't get very far into it. So I still didn't fully understand the gravity of the whole thing. And then I listened to that episode that Dan Cummins did, and I was like, oh, now I get it, why it's such a big deal. And
God, that's
he has
hilarious.
done episodes talking about how stupid he thinks people who talk about conspiracies are. You know, he's fully against like conspiracy culture as a whole. But then he says, you look at stuff like this, like the Jeffrey Epstein thing, and some of the stuff, the conspiracies make a lot more sense. Like that. Was he killed? How many other people were involved? All of these crazy ass questions that might not ever have answers now. It really feeds that conspiracy fire.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even really say that's a conspiracy. I feel like it makes no sense. Like certain conspiracies make no sense, right? Like fucking chemtrails or the Earth is flat.
Right. But yeah, like this one, I don't know, man. He did an episode about the Las Vegas shooting,
Oh, I
and
don't know anything about that.
oh, how many years ago was that? 5 years ago,
Was this
2017.
was this at the movie theater?
No, it was the guy at the Mandalay Bay who at the country music festival. He knocked his windows out and started shooting people at the country music festival.
Okay.
That was a big conspiracy thing too, because the guy was supposedly, according to all the police reports, he was by himself. He did everything by himself, blah, 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 all this stuff. But supposedly there were people who were there claiming they saw other shooters, they heard other shooters, and yet all of that information supposedly was swept under the rug. And they said, nope, it was this one guy. He did it all by himself. So
Huh.
it was, yeah.
Does
It
somebody
was,
just hate country music?
well, when you, that's why like Dan Cummins episodes are good, because they're like 3 hours long, but it's all pretty much a stream of information that they've researched.
All right, you
And
convinced me. I'll start listening to him again.
well, when they present it like that, from that he rolls from detail to detail to detail, the bigger picture starts to make more sense than when you just get blips like that. Like, oh, he was shooting up here, but people heard gunshots down here and blah, blah, blah. It makes way more sense when you look at it in a much broader scope, I guess. And to be honest, he still does a lot of his like real quirky, weird shit on there.
I
But
just don't think he's very funny.
he's toned down on it a bit, and I actually think some of his quick things that he comes up with are kind of funny. Like in the Amish episode, he constantly he'll mimic like he's two Amish people talking to each other, and he's like, "Oh, but Josiah Jebediah Jebedeba Ding Dong. Oh, you don't know how hard it is." Like it's just, he comes up with them on the spot is all what I find very funny.
I'm about to start listening to him again. I guess I haven't been learning enough stuff.
Oh, Jebediah slip and slide. That's like that's what shit he says. I like it because it's a lot of information on a specific topic condensed into just like 2.5 hours or something like that. You get a lot of information though, because it's him and a whole a team of people doing research to compile it all together for him to put out there. It's actually pretty good. Plus, dude, his podcast is pretty inspirational, in my opinion, because he's to a point now where he donates a lot of proceeds to different, organizations. And I found out, I thought maybe it was half of his earnings were going to proceeds. No, it's only like a quarter. And on the last episode I listened to, I'm pretty sure he donated over $14,000 to some charity.
Jesus.
Right. So it's super inspirational. Like how much both money and then how much good he is doing by actually putting that money back.
He's a comedian too, right?
Yeah, he still does. Yeah, he still does stand up too.
Like I thought I saw one of his stand-up specials. Some of them are funny.
He has funny bits.
Like hilarious,
Right. He has funny bits. He's no Louis C.K. But
I mean, yeah, he's the GOAT.
No, don't say the GOAT. I'm so tired of hearing that. Oh my God. I know. God damn it. It's one of those that fucking triggers me.
Why?
I don't know. I honestly,
I
don't know.
Of all time. It's just an acronym.
I know that. I know what it is. but it still annoys me for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. Okay, I don't fucking know. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Okay, I don't know why it bothers me. It just
Yeah,
bothers
I'm gonna
me.
say it all the
Yeah.
time. Don't you hate the word chortle too?
Yeah, well, I used to.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it bothered me a lot.
I don't have that was not what I would say all the time. Doesn't really fit in the conversation very much. I had a good chortle the other day at the opera. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. What year is it?
Yeah. Exactly. Someone just starts punching you.
Go back to the 90s.
Oh, yeah, the 1890s.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh, what do you think? Should we wrap this one up?
Yeah, that's probably been enough. Was a lot. People are probably like, "You guys are so weird. You're all over the
It
place."
was really all over the place, but like at the same time, I feel like it was really coherent. Maybe
Well, let
not.
us
I
know
don't
what you
know.
guys think. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. Let us know. Maybe
Oh yeah.
yeah, something you send us, we could bring it up in a conversation on one of these roundtables.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's a great idea. We've never said that before. I
Yeah.
would love that if somebody would email us with like a topic or like what do the Knights think about this? I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. How have we not thought of that before?
Do you know how immensely important that would make me feel?
Oh yeah, I would feel like oh man,
considering how not important I actually am. So
bullshit. You're important to me.
Aw, thanks, man.
Oh, you're freaking welcome. I'll never say stupid shit like that again.
Yeah.
So yeah, please email us at KoTpL.pod@gmail.com if you have like topics. I don't know. Yeah, like recipes. I always ask for recipes and nobody fucking sends me any. Anything else? Like
someday it'll happen someday.
Suggestions, fucking workout advice, even fucking anything.
Anything you want.
Yeah, like literally anything. We would really truly appreciate that. Thank you all for listening to this freaking long ass, basically just two brothers talking episode. I mean, we really appreciate it. And yeah, I think we would love it if we could catch you guys in the next